When women dare to fully be themselves, to rise up as the divine beings they are, to operate in their magic, their sexuality, their power, they are always labeled one thing: wicked. Hi, ladies. Welcome back to another episode of Wicked. And today I actually want to talk about embodying our emotions and continue this discussion on self-embodiment. Our emotions are the most important thing that we experience as a woman. And it's very important to understand that this is very isolated to a female experience. Men will never experience emotion to the degree that we do because they are not built that way. And it actually kind of irks me a little bit when I'm going through a lot of these posts and stuff on social media because there's such a war between like men and women right now. It's so ridiculous. And I always like kind of see that I feel like women are wanting men to be more like women and the men are wanting the women to be more like men, which makes no sense. Like, we are wired very differently. And while I believe men should try to have a better understanding of the female emotions, they're never going to truly understand it because they can't embody it. They don't have our hormones. They're not built like us mentally. It's a very different experience. Just like we will never truly understand what it's like to perceive the world out of a male brain. You just won't. We are very different in our makeup, but that is for a reason. It actually works together really well when there can be an understanding of the dynamic. And I'm not gonna like get really deep into that because I can feel my brain wanting to, but that's not what the topic is today. So today I just want to talk about how amazing it is to have the strong emotions that we do as women, and that this is something that we have to truly learn how to embody because it is unique to us. So, one of the main things, the number one thing really, that stops us from doing the things we love, experiencing the things we love, having the life we want to live, all of that is not understanding how to navigate the quote unquote darker emotions, right? And we're really raised up in a society. I mean, even now with all these commercials with pharmaceutical drugs and all that, like it's pushed in your face that if you feel any type of mental discomfort, any type of like dark emotion, that there's something wrong with you and that you need to be happy all the time. And this has really produced an escapist culture. As soon as something difficult comes up, we label it bad and run from it. You can drink, you could drug, you could do whatever. Uh, and you want to hurry up and get away from it. And then you start labeling yourself as well through these experiences. And even if you're not somebody who's like into the whole love and light spirituality, that, that's a total like omission of seeing sacredness in the darkness, which is ridiculous. But even if you're not, there's still a lot of spiritual practices that still teach to disassociate from that, and that if and that when those strong emotions come up of sadness, depression, anger, whatever it is, that you need to do something to alchemize it or change it or make it into something else. And there's a huge problem with that because it's not giving us any type of coping skill of how to actually be in that emotion. And it's keeping you locked in duality. It's keeping you thinking that the negative experience, the bad emotion is bad, is negative, is something you shouldn't be experiencing. And you're missing a whole entire life experience because of it. And the more you do that, the more miserable you're going to become. So I'll explain deeper. There's a point that you have to get on your spiritual journey where you start being able to see the sacred in everything. That means the shit too. That means the hard stuff. That means in the darkness, you still see God. It's that when you are in heaven, you're experiencing bliss, and that when you're in hells, you're still experiencing bliss, and that there's no different. Can you get there? Psychologically, is that possible? Is probably what you're thinking because you're thinking of your situation that you're in right now or things that you've been through, and you're like, how the hell am I supposed to enjoy that? Yes, you can. Will it be 100% of the time? No, because you're human. And that's okay too. You can't be hard on yourself about this shit either. The number one thing that I see as a spiritual teacher is people striving for some type of spiritual perfection that doesn't exist. It'll never exist. Trust me, I dedicate my whole life is dedicate. This is all I do. This is all I do for years now, for over a decade. This is all I do. And there is no such thing as perfection. Perfection's an illusion. You make that up in your head. You have an illusion of how you think you should be acting and behaving all the time, and you keep striving to be that, but that's a complete illusion. It doesn't exist. You'll find that out the deeper in the path that you go. Humans are always trying to decrease their suffering. And what ends up happening is we place this onto something specific. So it's like, right now, I don't have enough money. So if I get that money, I will feel good, right? Will it alleviate some stress? Sure. But we tend to put, it's why you make vision boards, right? When you first get into spirituality, you make a vision board. When I get everything on this board, I'm gonna have peace and joy and I'm gonna be so content. You won't be. You won't be. You guys, I've been a reader. I've been reading professionally since like 2017. I can't tell you here in Naples how many millionaires that I've done readings for. I've been in some beautiful fucking houses, some beautiful mansions. I've seen a lot. I've had some amazing conversations with some amazing people. And I can tell you that reading for them it was really something else because I have like I don't have the perception of that kind of money yet in my life. So when I'm hearing their problems and the things that they have anxieties about and the stuff going on in their head, uh that's I don't that's not even anything in my perception of reality because I'm not anything close to that level. So it really started expanding my own consciousness doing readings like this because I realized it doesn't matter when you have the house and the house and the cars and then the money and the partner and all of that. All the stress is still there. We have to make a conscious decision of what we are going to opt in of feeling. And the more we put it on something external, I will be happy when I have the house, the car, the love, the whatever, the money. You will forever be in lack. And I promise you, when you get there, you're still going to have problems. And this is the carrot at the end, what's the saying? The carrot at the end of the stick? That doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? I'm not editing this. So you're always chasing the carrot. We are horses. We're just a bunch of horses chasing carrots. Hmm. So the more you the more you try or I'm sorry, the more you put out in front of you the carrot, the thing, you're gonna be forever starving. And even when you get the thing, you won't be able to enjoy it because you know what happens? You're at the bottom of a hill right now, and you have placed your vision board on the top of one hill. And when you climb up that hill and you have all the things on your little vision board, you're going to see that there's a lot more. There's a mountain in front of you and you're only at the baseline of that and there's a lot of shiny things on top of that mountain. and you're going to want to climb that mountain and get all those things too. And this is how desire works. This is how desire works. It keeps you chasing. And there's a saying in my path, and you probably heard me say it on the podcast before, I'm sure. If you're in the coven, you hear me say it all the time. The whole thing about desire and living on this earth is enjoying Maya and not getting ensnared by her. And Maya is what you guys would call like the Matrix, right? It's the illusion that we live in. And it's a very, very fragile, bendable reality. When you start understanding just what an illusion everything is that you live in, that's when you actually experience true freedom. And freedom is really what leads to your peace, which leads to your bliss. And so let's talk a little bit about this, okay? When you are going through a really hard time period in your life and, things could be crashing and burning, the first thing that you're going to do is try to make it stop. And you're going to try to control the situation because as things continue to fall, you continue to experience mental pain. And nobody wants to experience that. So we try to save things at all costs. So this is when we grab hold of the wheel and we are like, oh no, fuck that universe. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You made a left, you were supposed to make a right. And so we try to grab hold of that wheel and we white knuckle that shit and we try our hardest to keep driving straight when we are surely pivoting off the exit and we're like, what is going on right now? Um, in that time period, you're going to suffer a lot. Your knuckles are going to get tired, your hands are going to get tired, and it's going to start hurting. Okay, you're going to blister out. And uh, when that's happening and you're trying to fight against the flow of what is going on and you're resisting, this is when suffering is really going to kick up. It's really going to kick up. And the only antidote to that suffering in that moment is trust. Because trust is what is going to allow you to release. And you're going to give up control when you hit that point. When you stop resisting how the path is unfolding, this is when things get really magical. This is when your suffering starts to decrease just a little bit, maybe a lot of it. For me, it's a lot of it. Depends where you're at. But you will start letting go so tightly because you're entering in a space of trust. And you know what that gives you? Freedom. And you know what freedom gives you? Peace. And suddenly, when things are falling and falling and falling, when you stop resisting in your mind that it should be a different way other than what it currently is, you will experience peace in that moment. And it is really hard to get there. It really is. Um, I have gone through so much in my life, but also with the last 2 years really highlighted. And looking back over my path, I was just talking about this in the coven yesterday. It actually brought tears to my eyes, really. Like I get really emotional when I look back. So much that transpired was it was just awful. It really was. And the mental torment that I was going through during that time period, like I don't know how I survived it. I really don't. Like looking back on it, I have no idea how I survived what I did. And it was really, really dark. And yes, I went through all the mental pain of it. And now that I am somewhat out of it, I look back and I can see how every little thing down to the millisecond looked like a perfectly orchestrated divine plan that I was not aware that was unfolding, that I didn't have trust in the unfolding of because it was so scary because of what was being threatened. And all of the torment in my head, that's exactly where it came from, my mind. And it's not to say that, oh, if I just would have relaxed and let go, everything, I wouldn't have suffered. No, 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 no. Because to me, that also is spiritual, that's emotional avoidance, which to me is spiritual avoidance. I do believe, however, that if I had the level of, I mean, that situation is what got me to the point right now of having the trust that I have in the divine and in that things are perfectly orchestrated, even if I don't understand them. And I stopped white knuckling things and just letting it go. And I suffer a lot less because of it mentally. And there's still things that are occurring in my life that it's like, I look at it, I'm like, I should be like crying right now. And I'm not, I'm just kind of laughing at it because it's like, there's just so much I don't understand. I never in a million years uh, would think that what I went through would put me where I am now. And I wouldn't trade it in for anything. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't want to experience it again. But I have to say that my spiritual path is what got me through it. Because when I got to a point finally where I was like, everything is God, okay, and who I consider God. That's everything is deity, right? My deity. I stopped fighting it so much because I'm just like, surely she has a better understanding than me. And the more and more I trusted, I saw that she did. And so when we surrender, that's really what it is. It's surrendering. Can you trust that everything that you're going through right now is for purpose? That that it's part of burning your karmas? That it's an invitation for you to go deeper in self so that you can expand and become somebody different. If you're somebody that has wishes and desires of something else other than you have right now, that's going to require expansion of you. And when there's expansion that's taking place, things need to move out. Th- Think about like a balloon being blown up. If you want expansion like that, the balloon's getting bigger. Picture it in a box. It's going to burst the sides. So the walls need to blow out. And this is your inner self. And this is you. And when your inner self blows out and changes like that happen, that's what rearranges your Maya or your matrix. And that's when your reality starts shifting. But you have to go through the hard shit in order to get to the things that you're wanting. But the most important part in all of this is, well, how do you get through the hard shit? And this is, and I'll tell you guys, I wouldn't have the Pathway to Bliss course or even my current shadow work mentorship program if I didn't go through the treacherous hells that I went through in the last few years. Because the way I expanded downwards, my expansion included going to hell. And I will tell you something that is absolute truth. The deeper in your own inner hells you're willing to go, the higher in heavens you will fly. You will only go as high as you are willing to go down. And this is where it is important to understand your emotional process and your mind, because your mind is in control of everything. You understand that? And most of you don't have control over your mind. You say, "Oh, my mind wanders. My mind is all over the place. My mind," all of that, it comes from a lack of, I call it fitness, mental fitness, because I'm a gym rat. But just like you go to the gym and change your body through toning it up and lifting muscles, and then you increase the weight and you do all this stuff to build muscle, you got to do that with your mind too. You got to do that with your mind. And you can't just let it go all over the place. Like if you start at the gym and you're just all over the place, oh, I'm gonna lift a couple dumbbells here and do a little bit of that, and you have no plan, you ain't gonna get nowhere. You ain't ever gonna see results. You gotta actually train. You have to go there. Buying the membership isn't going to do nothing. You have to actually go. You have to have a plan, what you do on Monday and what you do on Tuesday, and then you just do the same shit over and over and over again, and then you just increase weight over time. Your brain literally works the same way. When a thought comes up, see, you think you're your thoughts. When a thought enters your head, and it's an anxiety about something, like, oh shit, am I going to be able to pay this bill? Or like, I don't know, something about your relationship or something. When that anxiety comes up in your head, that thought comes up, it's up to you to entertain it. Is that how you're going to train your muscle, your brain muscle? Do you want it on that path? You have the control over what is going on in your head. If that thought of anxiety comes up, you can just release it and not train it to become stronger. You can do that. The more you meditate, yeah, I know. I say all the time, the meditation's the problem solver of all of your issues. The more you meditate, you'll be able to do it a lot easier because meditation in itself is a workout for your brain. It trains it. Absolutely. It's the best training you can do because in meditation, first you'll only be able to go 5 minutes. See, 5 pound weight right there. You'll be able to go 5 minutes. Things will start popping up in your head. All of a sudden, you're thinking about your grocery list, and then you're like, oh shit, what was that? Now, you don't beat yourself up for it and be like, oh, I suck at meditation. No, you just, oh, I got to bring myself back to center, and you center yourself back out. And now, then maybe you master 5 minutes. So now you move the pin up to 10. That's great. And then you keep going with that for a while. And then all of a sudden, you're at 50 pounds. Sorry. You're 50 minutes. And it felt like 10. Okay. So this is really, really important. Okay. Now, what am I getting at here? When are we talking about emotions, Marisa? I don't even know my own name anymore. That's where I'm at with it. Okay. I've completely given up my ego identity. Therefore, I don't even know my own name anymore. All right. So when you are in time periods where it feels like your reality's collapsing or you're going through a really stressful time, a really stressful situation, if you choose, so A, to see God in that and be like, I don't understand this, but I'm going to take opportunities as they come. Listen, things will always be revealed to you over over time as you're going through it. Okay. Things will come, you'll make choices, you'll make decisions. It gets hard sometimes because you want to know the answers and you want to know how it's going to turn out. We are so afraid of the unknown, so afraid because sometimes it can feel like, it feels like death. You don't know how it's going to turn out. Am I ever going to be okay again? I don't know how many times I can tell you guys, the amount of times that went through my head in the last couple of years, like, am I ever gonna be okay again? Is this just gonna go on forever? Like, it felt like it. It was a long time to be where I was at. So in those moments, in those time periods where you're like, what the fuck? And like all these strong emotions are coming up, you have the option to still experience peace there. So step one was what I already said. Step two is recognizing that those emotions that you're feeling, honor them, first of all. Don't try to change them. When you're angry, like anger gets attacked a lot with women. Like we're not allowed to be angry. Anger is a very healthy emotion. We're made to feel guilty for having it. Sadness, depression, whatever it is that you're feeling, like you have to give yourself time to actually move that emotion through your body. You have to allow yourself to do that. And when you do that, it's important to not label it. And I don't, it's important to not label yourself as anything during that time and to truly just let it move through. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to be upset or angry or whatever it is. Don't drink it away. Don't drug it away. Don't run from it and be like, oh, I have to make this happy so I can. If you can learn to go through these deeper emotions and experience it, you will see that you can find the bliss there. There's a part of you in your unconscious mind that enjoys all of that anyway. You are both the angel and the devil in your life. And so when you when you go through the darkness, which you guys have, if you listen to my last episode, I talked about in there with the sacral chakra, if you're in my Pathway to Bliss course, that is both heaven and hell in the sacral. And so when you or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, I don't remember, but when you enter into those darker time periods, you have to know that that's a part of you and those time periods or are existing because it is a part of you. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's a part of your sacral chakra. It's part of your karmas. And the way that you burn through those trauma and those karmas uh, is by actually going through it and experiencing the suffering. But you don't have to be full-blown suffering all the time. You can choose bliss and enjoyment at any time. And so this is why, like in Pathway to Bliss, I have this guided meditation called the Demoness. And I take you through this meditation so that you can meet your own inner demoness, who actually knows how to navigate these hells. And so what you will do and what you'll come to realize and understand is that when you are uh when you are in your own inner hells like this and you're going through it and you're experiencing all these emotions, you actually can access a part of yourself that knows how to deal with it and understands and knows how to embody those energies as something is sacred too. See, we can't always just label everything positive as something sacred. That will get you in trouble. You might as well just be a love and light person. Your depression and your anxiety and your anger is all holy too. Can you, the problem is that because we are raised up here in the West in a patriarchal Christian society, you label all those negative things as the devil and you try to cast it out of yourself and you're labeling a whole entire part of yourself as the devil. So I took that and ran with it. And that's where I created the demoness meditation so that you can actually just embody that. And then you'll understand in that meditation how it is not in the slightest evil at all. And this isn't something that you want to expel from yourself, but rather something that you can experience. And in those time periods, when you know how to access this and you stop looking at it as something that you need, because like even when you try to resist the bad stuff, it makes it worse. The resistance in itself is what's causing the suffering. And so when you actually learn how to swim through this and be in those emotions, you'll enter into these states of peace. There was times where in my own journey, where things were getting really bad and that's how I came up with these meditations and stuff because I did them myself. I was able to put a smile on my face in the worst of times. And even if it was just momentarily 5, 10 minutes of relief, but like I'm smiling even now thinking about it because it's like the experience just becomes vastly different. I don't know if I'm losing some of you here, but uh, I just need you guys to know that that part of that suffering is your growing pains, and you really have to know how to navigate it. And part of being a woman is learning how to embody these energies of the void. See, the void is neutral. It's not good or bad. It's both. Your perception, it's because it's neutral and your perception is what makes it good or bad. Okay? Because what's really bad for me may not be nothing for somebody else. And what's really bad for you may not be shit for me. Everybody's path and experience is different, okay? What you may be calling hell, I may think is bliss. And that's what I'm actually aiming towards. Everything is a perception. And so, as a woman, when we actually learn to embody that sacral energy and we actually learn to know how to navigate these energies, and you stop being afraid of the darkness, of the scary things, of the uncomfortable feelings of things, that's when you really step into your power. You make peace with these things. And you start seeing the sacredness and the holiness of these other emotions, and you stop labeling them as something bad. You will see the importance of why these emotions make you who you are. And you will start to understand that without the storyline that you're attaching to the emotions, that they really don't have any power over you, you have power over it. So, one of the other things that will continually rob you of your peace and your joy is your vision board itself. Because the idea or the imagined thing that you think is going to give you the peace, the longer you don't have that, the more miserable you're going to be. And you're approaching that from a place of lack. You're saying, I don't have that thing. I lack it, therefore I lack peace. And I won't have peace until I have it. And the longer you don't have it, the longer you will suffer. And so this is when you have to start cultivating and choosing peace now. Having peace in the lack of the thing is what's actually in the long run going to give you the thing. But let me just preface that by saying this. If you are entering into this saying, I'm going to act like I have the thing now because that's what's going to give it to me, you're entering into this whole entire process from lack, which is the problem. See, you don't really want the money. You don't want the relation. You don't want any of those things. What you want is the idea of the peace you think those things are going to give you. So if you can actually learn how to cultivate that now, the peace now, that is what is going to unravel the path down the road. And I can guarantee you that you will be met with something much better than you thought. Because remember, the universe is not over here like taking notes. Like you're not putting in a request to the universe and then it's like, oh, okay, here's her request that she prayed for it 47 times, so now I'm going to give it to her. The universe is just a reflection of you. So when you yourself have peace and have bliss, things like that start manifesting in your reality because you're birthing it through your sacral chakra. And that frequency of peace and bliss that you're carrying manifests through your sacral. And you will have experiences you've never dreamed up before or thought of before. Those things will bring you even more peace. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding. That's all found inside you. I get in more detail on a more personal level in the coven, obviously. This is a podcast, it's open to the public. The coven is private. And I know the women more intimately on a more intimate level. So I share a lot of detail about what goes on in my life. But there's even at the time of recording this, something that's like going on, and it should be giving me like the worst anxiety because this has come up before, and it was like I was in tears for like weeks. And the amount of stress I had, it's like I didn't even want to get out of bed anymore. I chose something different this time. When the situation was reappearing, I looked at it as an opportunity. I was like, oh, this is my deity just seeing if I can do it different this time because I totally trust her and the path that's unfolding. And I'm actually excited about it being unknown because I know that she knows better than me and I don't really care anymore. And so I choose bliss. I chose going through all of this to have fun with my kids every day. And when anxiety starts to like pop up a little bit, I don't grab onto it. I use my gym skills and I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to work out that muscle today. And I just go on to something else. Am I ignoring my problems? No. I know these things are very real that are transpiring, but it's up to me how I want to feel about them. I've accepted it as reality, but I don't have to let it control how I feel. See, I am in control. I am the author of my feelings because I am in charge of my own mind. Your mind and your thoughts create your feeling. Your feeling is what creates your experience, which is what creates your reality because it creates your perception. It's like a domino effect. So if you can get a hold of your mind and start training your mind and stop telling me every time I tell you to meditate that you're bad at it, it's because you haven't trained yourself. Meditation is the first initiation to spirituality, and most of y'all give up. You're not even in the door of the temple yet. You gave up that quick. You tried once and said you were bad at it and you gave up. What else do you do that in life with? Oh. You can't try once and then give up. Of course, you're not good at it. You've never done it before. Keep going. So when you start getting a hold of your mind and then and you start being in charge of the thoughts that you want to entertain, and then you start realizing your emotions are more of a choice than than you thought were. And then on top of that, you step into a place of trust. And then on top of that, you stop resisting. Wow. Wow. That's when shit really will start shifting in your life. And I'm not even going to tell you, oh, your reality. I'm not going to promise you some fucking bullshit like every other spiritualist in the West. But I'm going to tell you that that peace that surpasses all understanding, most of y'all, you want to experience that, but you're scared to. You know why? What comes up in your mind will be, you should be worrying about this. You're being dumb. And then other people will remind you of that. They will be like, you should be a lot more worried than you are. Why aren't you stressed right now? How can you be sitting there laughing and happy when you have this going on? Like, they will think you're crazy and they will tell you that you are because it surpasses all understanding. You you will let the path unfold as shitty as it looks and still be happy, and people will be like, you are on drugs. There is something wrong with you. You should be suffering and miserable, but you're not choosing misery because it surpasses all understanding. There is a space inside of you that is capable of that. I don't know if any of this is hitting. Is this hitting y'all? Are you guys following me? The camera nodded, so I'm gonna take that as a yes. You will experience the peace that surpasses all understanding when you completely let go of your own understanding. And when you completely let go of having to understand. You'll understand it later because life is lived forward and understood backwards. I didn't understand what was happening in my life at the time. I didn't know why all of this really, really terrible shit was happening. I had no fucking idea. I was like, all I know is that I just wanted this happy little family. And it was very simple. I didn't have very, whatever. And when that started crashing out, I was like, oh shit, this is pretty bad. It got really bad, things I still can't share publicly. I will one day though. Um, and it's just like I was very in and out of it. And I am really grateful I had my spirituality, because that was the path. That was the path. Um, I got a lot of deeper understandings during that time of like how things work. But like looking back, man, it is like a masterpiece. It is the most beautiful work of art, masterpiece, down to the millisecond of things. I swear to God, you guys, down to the millisecond of things. And there's no way I could have thought that up. No fucking way I could have thought that up at all. And I had to just go with it. I burned a lot of karmas. I processed a lot. I burned a lot of my trauma, a lot. I am no way, shape, or form the same person I was even 2 years ago. Not even close. And if you actually go ahead and go back on my social media, or like I was showing pictures in the coven, you can see an insane difference in my aura of before versus now. My more recent last few months versus even when I thought I was in the height of my awesomeness of the bliss of my life, you know, um even during those times you can't even compare. Like you can see it in my aura and pictures. I wouldn't trade that shit. I wouldn't trade in any of that suffering for nothing. It got me even more involved in my spirituality. This is the deepest I've ever been. And I have a huge understanding of myself. I have a huge understanding of the spiritual realm and how it works. I understand Maya a lot better. And it's given me a lot of potent medicine to help other women with. And I wouldn't trade it in for fucking anything. And all the unknown that's happening still in my life right now, it's amazing. Can't wait to experience it because I don't understand it now, but I will after. And I know it's going to be better than I have envisioned. But you can have that too. You just have to stop placing your peace on something outside of you and realize that at any time you can tap into that. It just takes a lot of psychological work because that's all spirituality is. It's you understanding your psyche more and realizing just how much control you have over this illusion. It's really easy to attach to fear because that is what is promoted in reality all the time. That's all that's on the news. That's all that's in all the music you listen to. It's all either fear or it's telling you need more money, you need more love, you need more sex, you need more whatever. More, 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 more. Always chasing desire. And again, desire is not bad. That's what drives you to be better and to create and do. And desire is what makes the world spin. Without it, we wouldn't even be here. It's good. Desire is good. But when you're ensnared and you start placing peace on your desires and that you won't have it until you get those desires, you will be burned by illusion every time. Because what you've imagined the desire to be, it will not be, it will fall short, and you will be burned that way. Or you will forever be chasing it. And when you get there, again, it won't be what you thought. Or it'll just always be at your fingertips. It'll be the carrot. And you'll never be able to actually consume it. And you'll be forever chasing. The answer to all of that is being now. Being now. See, your past has already happened. Why are you thinking about it? You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. Your future is your imagination. You don't know what's going to happen. You're imagining it. So where are you? Are you trapped in the past? Or are you that crazy that you're believing your imagination? You only have now. One of the things that actually helped to get me through when my anxiety would really start raising up about things that were happening, I would sit in my living room and look around and be like, nothing has changed. My couch is still my couch. My TV's still right there. I'm still looking at the same thing out my window. Like nothing has changed. The only thing that changed was I received a piece of information in an email, and now my mind is running with it and creating a whole illusion that I'm experiencing that doesn't actually exist. The only thing that exists right now is my fucking condo. And it's the same condo that it was 5 minutes before I received the email. The only thing that changed is my perception of the reality that's creating my anxiety and depression right now. So I let myself feel it. I went into my little demoness mode and I was like, all right, I'm depressed. This is terrible. Oh my God. And it moved through like that. Because I'm not scared. I'm not scared to feel those things. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I don't care. All of the feelings I don't care. I'll be rejected. I don't care. You're not going to embarrass me. Like, whatever. I'm not cool. It's an emotion. I respect my emotions. I love them all. And when I do feel it, I'm just like, oh, that just feels terrible. But when I own it and don't shame myself and don't run from it, you'll see how quick emotion moves through your body. When you embody your emotion, when you actually allow yourself to feel it and not say, oh, I shouldn't be angry, that's not holy. Or oh, I shouldn't feel sad. Or oh, I'm grieving right now. I should be over this by now. Says who? Says who? The fucking the the commercials on TV that tell you need pills because you're feeling a little way? What, who said you got to be over it by now? Maybe you're not done processing the grief. Maybe you should be fucking angry about what just happened. Allow yourself to be. If you stop running from those deeper emotions, the icky emotions that are labeled as are in our society as bad, and you allow it to move through your body as a woman, first of all, I ain't gonna get trapped in your womb no more, so you'll stop having all your period issues. And you probably stop your skin issues too, all your eczema and your acne. And so when you let that move through you, what happens is it literally moves through you. You allow, and then it moves out. And then you can reclaim your center and your peace. Because see, anger is holy, depression is divine, anxiety, you have all these emotions for a reason, or else you wouldn't experience it. Trees don't feel it. They don't get depressed. This is for humans. We have these emotions for a reason. They all served us at one point. When we were primal, all these emotions served us. They all had purpose. It's just we're really out of touch with our own selves right now. The more industrialized and techie that we get, the more out of touch we are with ourselves. Um, and so when you learn to stop shaming away your emotions and you allow yourself to like fully embody them and not feel guilty for feeling them and you allow it to move through you, you'll get a really good relationship with yourself because you'll start loving those parts of you. And I'm telling you, fully embodied self-love, you can't fuck with that. You just can't fuck with it because you will just love yourself so much. You will just love yourself. Why do you think it's shamed when you as a woman love yourself? Why do you think, as a woman, you are shamed and called names when you love yourself too much? Oh, look at her. Oh, what do they use? Egotistical? That's not being egotistical. They can't handle confident women. There is nothing more hated than a woman that fucking loves herself. I'm telling you, society is set up to make women continually hate themselves so they're not in their power. When you fully love yourself and you fully love your emotions, and you don't care what anybody has to say about it and you're just like you just love you for you, that's when you start showing up for yourself. That's when you start honoring yourself in certain ways. That's when you stop entertaining subpar relationships and subpar jobs and stuff because you're not going to settle for something that loves you less than you love yourself, are you? Look at the relationships around you. Look at the relationships that you're in and that you hold on to all the time and the people that you're fucking and having situationships with. Take a look. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't settle for any of that. Why would you settle for something less than you love yourself for? That's a lot of shadow work in there too. You fully embodying yourself and fully loving you for your emotional self and for everything, and you stop shaming and guilting all those parts of you of your unconscious mind and try to keep it trapped and hidden. And it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. You are not loving a whole entire part of yourself. And this is the most important part. Because when you start loving yourself, and you start honoring your emotions and you allow them to move through your body and you start going through these situations that are triggering up those emotions, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's me. This is how I act when I get like high anxiety or I get angry or I get whatever. And you'll love that part of you and you'll let it move through your body and you'll love it while you're doing it. See, you will love it while you do it. And that puts you in a whole other state of mind because that's bringing you peace. You can simultaneously experience peace and anger and peace and anxiety and peace and depression at the same time because you're not resisting, you're allowing. The most important thing is to get out of resistance. That is what is robbing you of peace. Resistance is robbing you of peace. Allow the path to unfold. Allow your emotions to unfold. Embody them. Know it's part of the process. Know that that's holy too. And watch the divine play fall into place and things work out and just go with the flow. Take action and steps as it comes to you. Don't deny yourself the anxiety. If you have to like go to listen, you don't have to embody the frequency of money or get your nervous system prepared so that the money can show up. If you want a high paying job at some fucking company and you're like, I know I can do this, I'm just really scared, apply. Go to the interview scared. You don't have to make your nervous system ready for that kind of income. No, you don't. Go do it scared. Take the risk. Step out, step into it. Okay? Things will come for you to do, and sometimes you don't feel prepared for it, but do it anyway. Because that anxiety, that fear, hello, those are emotions too that are a part of you. And when that fear rises up, be like, oh, yeah, that's just like my fear. I don't know. This is what I do. This is what I teach in Pathway to Bliss. It's part of you. It's part of being human. Stop trying to go somewhere else. Stop trying to exit Matrix and live in 5D and all this. Love the human experience. I know it can be shitty sometimes, but if you can love the human experience and love the process and trust the process, that is going to give you a ton of relief. I really feel like I was all over the place in this episode. I don't really care. I'm publishing it anyway, okay? Hopefully, y'all followed me and what I was saying. It's just that one thing leads to another, and when I get involved in these topics, here is the cliff notes, okay? If 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 you approach manifesting and approach your life with the idea that XYZ, when I get that, I am going to have peace, you're wrong. You will always experience uh lack. You will always not have that. If you can stop resisting and allow the path to unfold and see the beauty in that and have trust, you will see the flower of your life bloom. And if you can choose peace during those time periods and figure out how to do that, hopefully because you're taking Pathway to Bliss, and you can do that and integrate with those emotions and not shame yourself and for all the bad emotions that are coming up and actually learn how to work with those emotions and be in them and experience them and move them through your body and honor them and see them as sacred and part of the process. You know what just happened? You just basically called your whole entire life God. And what is God? Love. And what is everybody chasing? Love. And all of the negative experiences that we have is just a lack of self-love. You have your answer. It just takes a lot of work to get there, and most people aren't willing to put in the work. You can have that peace that surpasses all understanding. It's just going to take you to get a little wicked. It's going to take you to go inside and meet your inner demoness. It's going to take you to learn how to not be afraid of your own inner demons and how to integrate with them and actually be empowered by them and feel empowered by your own emotions. It's going to require you to be so fucking wicked that you love yourself unapologetically, because that's when nothing can fucking stop you. That's when you will be the most wicked bad bitch you will ever meet. Want to be part of an online community filled with other badass women supporting each other on their wicked journey? Check out my online community, the Wise Woman Network. We have classes, courses, online community meetings, and more. Activate that sleeping goddess within and unleash your divine power. Join me today on a free trial to all my listeners. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you there.